ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcus Walters. I'm the host for tonight in Dr. Michael Hunter's Pathway to Success. I want to welcome you all on this beautiful, beautiful evening here in West Palm Beach. Tonight we have Miss Monica Kowalski. Um, she is from Poland, moved over at a young age, became very successful in sports and also in real estate. And we're going to see what she has to tell for us tonight. So, welcome, Monica.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Monica, tell us a little bit about yourself and how your life was in Poland before you moved over to America.
Actually, from a very small town in Poland. I grew up in very late '80s, which was post-communistic country. I grew up in a home with both parents, and they were absolutely amazing. They've been nothing but supporting my entire life. And I do have one sister, Martina. She's also here in the United States with me. Um, I actually helped her. It was a very long journey to get us both over here to the United States, but it happened. Um, yeah, and I started my career, I guess, and as an athlete in Poland at a very young age. I was about 9 years old when I started swimming.
You started swimming at 9 years old?
Yes,
That's
I think I
amazing.
was about that 9, 10 years old. I grew up in a city without a pool, and that's when actually my parents came in. Um, the closest pool that I was able to attend at that time, I think, was about 45 minutes away from my hometown. And my father was the one driving me. At the age 10, before we realized that I actually had some sort of abilities to start competing in swimming. My father was driving me, 2, 3 times a week. At the age of, I want to say 13, I think, when swimming became a huge part of my life,
Okay.
we start traveling twice a day.
Who was the one that saw that in you that you were very, very good in swimming and wanted you to become probably professional? Who was that?
Always my dad. He saw everything in me. He truly believed that, and both of my parents, that we're absolutely going to be the best in anything you do. And they always saw that in me, and I believe my sister. They weren't very objective when it comes to raising me and my sister. They always truly believe that no matter what we put our minds in, we're
Yes,
always gonna achieve anything that we're
definitely.
going for. So I met my coach at one of the trips. It was a silly little trip. I went with the school, and he kept asking me. I came back multiple times to the same pool with the same trip, and he kept asking me about sort of coming and attending the club. And I was like, yeah, no, that's absolutely insane and crazy. We're not going to be driving, to that town. And then eventually he just asked me for a phone number from my parents. He's like, okay, like little girl, 9 years old, like I'm done talking to you. So let me just talk to your parents. He reached out to my dad.
Yes.
My dad was always huge in sports. He played tennis. My mom was, I think she tried to be a gymnast. But my dad always loved sports, and he was big in it until he realized he has asthma. So then he kind of put this whole passion into sports into me.
Yes.
I trained martial arts, all kinds of different ones, from taekwondo, boxing to Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
So it's mostly your parents that really, really pushed you in that to get you to a next level and make sure that you get where you got. For the viewers, a lot of people don't know Poland is very, very different. As we know, I'm from the Netherlands. It's 16 hours difference from where I was born and where Monica was born. Very different lifestyle, very different way of living. Very, very different, definitely than the United States. So it's beautiful. We can see that your mom and dad definitely push you in the right direction.
Absolutely, and I think that's a key to most. I can't say all successful people, but I think that knowing that you do have that support and someone does have your back, especially at such a young age, and that you almost growing up in that bubble where nothing can ever touch you and you're indestructible. I think that was a very beautiful thing, and I think that that was the reason behind all my confidence my entire life.
Yes,
I just
yes.
knew that I can achieve anything that I put my mind into. And my parents surely made sure that I knew about it. They were always very supportive. Like I said, my father, he drove me to the pool twice a day. And, it's funny because I still remember stories when I was, a little girl, and my dad telling the friends and people, he's like, what are you doing? Like, why you keep driving? Oh, she's going to be the best. She's going to be the national champion one day. And people are walking like, like, you're crazy. Like, you have no idea what it takes
They didn't
to
believe
raise,
you at all.
not even me, my father. And, you don't understand what it takes to have and raise a national champion.
Yes.
Because, when you reach certain level, especially in, athletic department, you know that it takes a whole squad and a whole team. You can only go so far by yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And
Definitely.
when I reached that level of the national team, because it did happen, I was a national champion. I think I won my first national champion title at the age of 13, and after that it just went. I think my if my father watches it, good thing he doesn't speak English because he'll laugh at me right now, not knowing this, because I know my father. He still knows my best times. Throughout my entire career, he knows exactly what pulls I broke, what record, and I broke national records, by the way,
Yes.
in the past. And he knows exactly how many times I was a national champion in Poland. I want to say over 42 times. Um,
That's amazing. 42 times. Oh my God. That's amazing.
but like I said, it takes a team, and all kudos to my family,
Yes.
to my sister, helped me a
She
lot.
was a swimmer too. Your
She
sister.
wasn't a swimmer, but she was my emotional support and my my cheerleader and my homework specialist. so,
Homework specialist.
so, so, like I said, when you get to that level,
Yes.
the practices get beyond exhausting. At that time, I was spending probably 6 to 8 hours a day. When I reached the national team level at the age of 16, that was when I was competing in Bangkok, Thailand, swimming at the national, international meets, Cyprus, Budapest, all over the Europe, all over the world. It takes a lot. So, you're still at the age of 16,
Yes.
and you have a lot of schoolwork, and you have a lot of different,
So you need a little bit of
I
help
need a
left and right
little
to
bit
get you
help.
going.
Yeah. And when I got to United States, to college, I don't know, again, if I should talk about it, but she was a huge support, especially then, because we started taking the same classes for
Well,
that
we all need
exact
we
reason.
all need help once in a while, right? I mean, in
Absolutely.
many ways possible, of course.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and my parents, they traveled the entire world, right with me.
So your mom and dad were probably also very successful to do that. I can't see them having a 9 to 5 job and working for somebody while they're supporting a national athlete.
Yeah. So, my parents are business owners. My father tried a lot of things before he found his niche, and I know that my, you know, what they were trying to help me with and basically create in my life for me, I know it caused them a lot of sacrifices. Like,
Yes.
I remember my father, closing down and selling down the businesses, very, very successful, to support me and
Your
my
life's
swimming.
dream, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the traveling, I was sent to a boarding school at the age of 16. So I was pulled away out of the hometown and my
Yes.
parents
Yes.
to join one of the top schools for swimmers in particular. In Krakow, it was 8 hours away from my hometown. So that's when I started living there.
Yes.
Um, but my parents still visited me almost, I want to say, every week if it was possible. They follow me to all kinds of training camps and every single meet, no matter where the national team or my club team at that time threw me. They were always there for me. I remember them packing actually a laundry. I don't really like doing laundry, so and I blame my mom for that
Yes.
because since I was, like I said, I was 16, living on my own. We were always just exchanging bags. I would put my dirty laundry, and she would take it and then bring me new clothes and clean clothes. So, like I said, it took it took entire team. I remember my grandma cooking for me. I remember my grandpa always calling me,
It's
and
a lot of inspiration that I hear from your family just to get you there, to keep on going with what made you very successful. It's very, very amazing to see that.
I think it makes it much easier when you know that there are people that are supporting you and there are people that you don't want to let down. I think that makes it much easier to try to achieve, what are you going for.
And I also know in Poland it's very different than everywhere else. It's a very hard road. It's very hard. It's different than in many other countries that. So I definitely think you needed that support from your dad and your family to get there.
Absolutely, we don't. There is no money in
That's what I'm
sports,
saying.
and especially in swimming. Everything is funded by yourself. Like your parents have to fund it for you if you want to get anywhere. It
Yeah.
is very difficult to
But they
try to.
succeeded in a huge way, what I hear right
Well,
now.
my dad, like I said, my father always had that mindset that he wanna, we always laugh, the Polish eagle, to put it on your chest and hear the national anthem. And I think that was always our goal to get there, to have that sweater, with the Polish eagle on it, and the white and red, and with the Poland on your back. When I got it, I remember tears in my eyes. The most proudest probably moment of my entire life, because we did work and like I said, I want to say I work, but it wasn't just me. It was the entire family working very hard to get me there.
Yes.
So, and he always knew also that he is going to send me to study in the United States. So he always repeated since I was very young.
So it was already planned that all that stuff wouldn't happen.
You know what? My parents were always very interesting visionaries. I don't know what they came up with those ideas, and now looking everything back, especially don't know what they came from that, but
That's amazing to hear. Let's go take a 2 minute real quick break and come back and listen to Monica talking about her journey in the United States.
This is Apostle Benjamin Smith of the Embassy International here in Nassau, Bahamas, inviting you to join us right now. The Midnight Cry, learn the weapons of warfare that will give you mastery in every problem in life. Meet me there.
I've got 20 seconds left, and I'm not going to ask you who you see winning the election, because I believe everybody just needs to pray. But what do you see in our parliament? You did give a prophecy at what you see the parliament looking like.
Yes.
And it wasn't just two sides.
No, I saw a coat of many colors. I believe there are many horses in this race. I believe that there are horses at the back that are obscure, that will come into notoriety. I believe that we are at the time of a coalition. Coalition doesn't mean Lincoln Bain.
Right.
It means a form of governance where all of the tribes are now being led, and every strata of society will be represented. That is a coalition. Whether we like it or not, we are at the turn of our century, and we have to make a godly and a righteous decision. This decision is going to make history.
Thank you so much, Apostle. It's always a pleasure having you.
Welcome back to Pathways to Success. My name is Marcus Walters. I'm the host for tonight. I'm Dr. Michael Hunter's Pathways to Success. We're sitting here with Monica Kowalski, who was born in Poland, started a professional swimming career, had a lot of positive energy and a lot of help from her parents and her sister to get where she came when she became a swimmer. So how did it happen that you came to the United States? Who made that happen? Because I know it's not happy to come from Europe here.
So, like I mentioned before, my parents always had that vision of me coming to the United States. They always spoke about it very openly that this is where you have to be,
Yes.
and there's also a reason why. When you
Did your dad have anything going on in the United States? Do you have
No, no,
family
no,
here?
no,
So it was a
no.
whole blank sheet, and
Yeah,
you just came here
yeah.
to inspire us all.
Thanks. Yeah, we don't. I don't even think we knew a single person in the United States. And the main reason why my parents wanted me to come to the United States is that when you're in Poland and you're an athlete, you really don't have a lot of options
Yes.
when it comes to your education. Um, you know, I knew that there is going to be a life one day after swimming, and if you don't get the education that I was going for, I knew it might be a little bit difficult, and I definitely didn't want to be a gym teacher, in Poland, and that's unfortunately the most, or fortunately, I mean, depends, who you are and what you like to do. Personally, for me, it just wasn't an option. I didn't want to do it. I knew that once I get out of the swimming, that's going to be it, and I was discovering all kinds of different paths of what I want to do in life after the swimming, because like I said, you cannot be an athlete for the rest of your life, no matter how much
you
you
need
like
business
to.
adventures. You need different ways of income after that because a lot of stuff it's not gonna last forever. I know
And,
that
and
myself.
you,
Yes.
exactly. So with that being said, I knew that I still want to practice. I still want to train. At that time, I knew that I want to train with the best in the world if I wanted to get to that level.
Yes.
And I also want to get the best education I possibly could. Or my parents, want to give me that opportunity and the education that they possibly could give me. So I was already at that level when it comes to the swimming that I was actually invited to United States to swim for the Division One.
Division
university.
One, you say? Really? That's amazing, and that's a tough level.
Yeah, I guess. So, and I'm gonna blush. Yeah.
It's true. Take that credit. It's amazing.
Well, I guess I was pretty good. So
I've seen some videos. I've seen some pictures. You were pretty good. Yeah.
I trained very hard for it.
Definitely see that you trained very hard.
I did. So yeah, the first, so I got, I passed my test, my SAT, my TOEFL, everything.
Where did you start it in the United States? Where did you
In
arrive?
Florida.
In Florida.
In Florida, I came to actually a small college in, actually.
What? Tell us, Monica. Tell us
Um,
what's going on.
So I actually originally started with the University of Florida.
Yes.
I came to Gainesville at first, Division One school. I I didn't love it. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't love
What was
it.
it that you didn't like? The people, the
Um,
school, situation, system,
It just didn't feel right. It just wasn't for me at
quality.
that time.
Was it a lower end school?
No,
Maybe?
it's one of the top schools actually. So no, it was a great school. It was a great university. It just wasn't for me, and I would like to leave it at that. At one of the meets, I met a gentleman, and I'm gonna give him a shout out right now, Frank Bradley, and that is
Well,
probably
Frank Bradley, if you're listening or seeing this,
and that is probably a man that had the biggest impact on my life being in the United States. A best coach that any athlete could ever ask for. Um, I can't thank that man enough for everything he has done
he
in my
believed
life
in
for
you.
me. Oh my God, like no one else. Other than my parents, they believe in me the most,
Yes.
But Frank, he definitely saw that, and I had a pretty strong personality, so it wasn't always very easy. We jumped in each other's throat a few times, but always took swimming very, very seriously. He knew where I was going, and he definitely pushed me there. So when I met him, I actually transferred to swim with him and train with him. After 2 years, I became one of the one record in the country because I graduated
That's
the
amazing.
2 years
Yeah.
2 years university. I was again NJCAA champion multiple times. I still hold the national record in in the college swimming, the junior college swimming. The 2 years.
It's still there. Nobody ever topped that.
No, not 200 back.
In
No,
those
it's still
20
there.
years, nobody topped that.
Okay, hey. Yeah. what 20 years? It's been only 14.
Oh, 14.
Okay. And no one tapped that yet. And yeah, after that, I actually signed with Penn State.
You went to Penn State.
So after 2 years, yes, after 2 years in Florida, I transferred to swim for Penn State. Also, received the full scholarship, and I study psychology with a business option and labor studies and employment relations because I was already getting myself ready for
That's
the
amazing.
what's after
That's
the
amazing.
swimming. Yes.
For the people that don't know, Penn State is one of the highest colleges in the United States. Many professional athletes, swimmers, wrestlers, anything, they come from Penn State. So that's definitely a huge achievement. Definitely.
Yep.
Amazing. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. And my sister were with me.
You needed the homework, right?
I
You
need,
needed your
need a
homework
little
done.
support. I mean, here's the deal, right? I was all alone. Didn't have anyone. Like I said, came here. My father, literally, I was lucky enough for my parents to be, where they were at that time in their life. When it comes to their wealth, to be able to do that for me. When I received that phone call from United States, my dad literally boarded a plane with me. We got picked up by some coaches, people that I've never met in my life at the airports, and my dad stayed at the hotel, put me in the dorms. And when I was 18 years old, after 2 weeks, he said, "Hey, good luck.
You did that.
I'm out."
Now you're on
Yeah.
yourself.
And yeah, so I miss my sister, and I remember calling her one day and telling her, "Hey, listen, I need you here with me. You need to come. It's
She came.
beautiful."
She took. Yeah.
She took a TOEFL. I remember, speaking to the college that I was at and trying to figure out how we can actually bring her over here, and we made it happen. And then the same thing was, when I was actually reviewing colleges, I got invited by a lot of colleges to swim for them. Penn State wasn't the only one that I went to interview, but I made my sister kind of like a package deal.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're coming together,
Yes,
If you want me, like, you need to help me with her. She needs to come. So
They accepted that, and she came. And
I told you I was pretty good at it, So yes, we made it part of the deal. She did came with me, yes, and it was just me and her for many years, And I remember us driving, packing our condo in Florida, packing our car and everything we had, and leaving the life in Florida behind, and traveling through the whole United States, going to Pennsylvania, and then graduating, supporting each other. So I was very lucky with that.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see. So after all that time, you came from Poland, came to the United States. What were the things that you really were missing from Poland? Or was it just an easy transition? Of course, the parents, but outside of that, was there something that you had a hard time leaving behind? Maybe the food, maybe the friends, the situations there.
I wasn't how do I say it nicely about myself? I wasn't always the biggest social butterfly. I didn't have many friends. The lifestyle that I was having at that time didn't really allow me for that. I wasn't the girl that would go out to the parties and meet a lot of people because I had 5 a.m. since I was 13 till 22.
Yes.
I had to wake up 5:30 in the morning every day, Monday through Saturday. So when everybody else was building the little circles of groups of friends, I was always a little bit of an outsider, and so no, the friends were an issue. My family definitely was, and I do miss the culture as a whole, different values, different people, different characters. And,
it is very, very different than being in the United. Like I said, it's the United States versus Europe. There are many differences, especially the values that you talk about. There's so much more inside of us in Europe than the ones we have to find here in the United States.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Though, like very recent. So I always thought that that was the case. Very recently, I think I had the epiphany about, that whole core values and if it's really associated with the culture, or is it just something that you either create yourself or you're being born with. You meet people absolutely everywhere, and
Yes.
when you travel the world the way like I did, you
As an athlete, you mean day to day, you meet a
exactly
lot of people, yes.
you do, and then you're able to form your opinions, and your point of views changes a little bit, because I honestly don't think people change. I think your point of view and the way you look at things, that's the only thing that actually changes.
It's a
And
nice thing to see it like that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
thank you.
I like that.
So, for the longest time, I always thought that all those values and everything that, I was accustomed to came from the part and the fact that I grew up over there. Right now, looking at a lot of that's going on in Poland, and, looking what's going on around the world, you start realizing that I don't know if it's, I was accustomed to that because I grew up there, or I was accustomed to that because I grew up in the home and the house that I did. And that was, right now looking at it, I think it has more to do with actually the way you were growing up and how your parents raise you, or the lack of how they raise you, because,
Yes.
you're able
Of
to
course, of course.
um, kind of look at the things you want in your life and look at the things that you don't want in your life, and coming to United States and seeing more of that, I think that it has more to do with specific people, not the countries as a whole, as much as I used to probably thought it had. So if you ask me that question, I don't know, 5, 10 years ago, I would probably tell, I mean, I would definitely tell you, like, like, yeah, I miss those values, people, the honor, the pride, people lose that. And
True.
I thought it was the United States that, people kind of like maybe didn't have those values. I mean, I come from the country with exceptionally rich history. We went through everything. You had the knights and, the medieval times, and this real strong man, like.
We're from, like I said, we're
Um,
16 hours apart. We're the
exactly.
Vikings. You were the Vikings. We're a little bit stronger than most people in the world.
And that's exactly what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
definitely
So,
true. Definitely true.
I always thought it was that, and like I said, now my views changed very recently a little bit, and I don't necessarily believe it has anything to do, maybe not as much as I used to thought, had to do with where are you coming from. I think it has more to do with who you are as a person and your personality.
How you build up yourself
Exactly.
through life.
Exactly. Your personal experiences. People tell you all the time that they had bad experiences, and they experienced something. To me, experience is an experience, and it's just building you and creating the person you are.
Very
So
true. Very true.
you got to take every single thing that being thrown at you as a lesson. And I think actually you talked about
listen,
it.
like I said,
last-
you can make yourself and you can break yourself. It's also a lot of, I mean, I'm listening to you, very, very confident in the way you are. You went through life with a lot of help, but also how you believe in yourself. Obviously, outside of you had a lot of people believing in you, and that's also very, very powerful to keep yourself going in life. And then it really doesn't matter where you're from. You will make it anyways with that mentality. Definitely, yeah.
that's that's a very first statement. Yeah, and I always laughed. That if someone repeats you something so many times,
You're gonna wake up
you're
one
gonna
day
wake up.
and
It's like
thinking, hey,
believe it. Like, hey,
yes.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. So, yeah, my parents told me many times that I'm very special, and one day I woke up and I'm like, I am special, and I'm gonna conquer the world, and there's nothing that can ever break me or knock me down, and
True.
you can fall 100 times, and as long as you get up 101, you're good. So
You have to keep getting up. There's nobody in, I talked about it in my interview with Dr. Michael Hunter 2 weeks ago. It's you who needs to get up. Nobody else will reach out a hand. Sometimes a hand will help you, but you still need to do it yourself.
you have to definitely have that desire to get up. If you're being knocked down, no matter what people offer you and what kind of help they're going to offer you, if you accept the mentality of a victim, that this is happening to me because X, Y, and Z happened to me, and I can
You're gonna
try
be
to
stuck
tell
in
you.
that.
Absolutely.
You're going to be stuck in that.
And people can reach out to you and people can try to help you. You're not going to see it as a help because you don't want to help yourself. You can only help people that want to help themselves.
Yeah.
When you're stuck and you're ready to move on and you're ready to accept the help that you might possibly get, then you're going to look
Very
at
true.
everything very differently.
It's an amazing thing. We're going to take a little short break and then we'll continue along with Miss Monica Kowalski.
This is Apostle Benjamin Smith of the Embassy International here in Nassau, Bahamas, inviting you to join us right now. The Midnight Cry, learn the weapons of warfare that will give you mastery in every problem in life. Meet me there.
I've got 20 seconds left. And I'm not going to ask you who you see winning the election, because I believe everybody just needs to pray. But what do you see in our parliament? You did give a prophecy at what you see the parliament looking like.
Yes.
And it wasn't just two sides.
No, I saw a coat of many colors. I believe there are many horses in this race. I believe that there are horses at the back that are obscure, that will come into notoriety. I believe that we are at the time of a coalition. Coalition doesn't mean link and vein.
Right.
It means a form of governance where all of the tribes are now being led, and every strata of society will be represented. That is a coalition. Whether we like it or not, we are at the turn of our century, and we have to make a godly and a righteous decision. This decision is going to make history.
Thank you so much, Apostle. It's always a pleasure having you.
We were rolling.
My bad. Here we go. Welcome back at Pathway to Success. My name is Marcus Walters. I'm the host of tonight in Dr. Michael Hunter's show. And we're sitting here still with Monica Kowalski, who had an amazing journey coming from Poland all the way to the United States as a professional athlete, class one athlete,
Division A.
Division one athlete. Monica, so now you're in the United States. You're 23, 24 years old. What drove you and what inspired you to keep on going to the successful real estate mogul that you are right now?
Once I think you taste that success, it is very hard not to go back for it, and once I finished my career as an athlete, I had to find something that is going to make me, keep going, that it's, I'm going to find my passion to wake up every morning to, and kind of put my drive and, all that passion into something else. And real estate happened. It was, how they say that sometimes you find yourself in the very right place at the very right time, and
Yes.
that's basically how my journey happened with the real estate. I always knew I wanted to do it, and then certain opportunities opened up to push me definitely into that road. I started my own company. I had I think at the age of 27, 28 maybe.
You started your own company at 27, 28?
Actually, yeah, I think I was 20, I want to say it was 5, 6 years ago. So yeah, something like that. I started my flipping company. So I was flipping properties.
Like buying houses and
Yes.
flipping them, like making them new and selling them, that kind of flipping?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of flipping.
So yeah, I got my, so that opportunity kind of presented itself for me to go this route. I started as so I got my real estate license. I'm a little geeky, and I like my numbers, and I always make very logical decisions, or so I think, when it comes to a business. So I want to make sure that I know, again, as much as I possibly could about this business before I got into it, with the full blown force.
Yes.
I don't knock on the doors. I just push right through every single one of
I
them.
can see that.
Again, when that opportunity presented itself, I got my real estate license. I, tried to learn as much as I could about the contracts, the paperwork, everything that's involved in this whole transaction business before I put my money into my first flip. I've met, speaking of, pushing the doors open, I started researching who is the biggest flipper, in my area.
Yes.
And I found him. And that was probably the first time someone stood me out. I invited him for a cup of coffee, talk about business.
Yes.
But who was I, right? Like, I was just starting. I wasn't, I didn't have much to offer when it comes to, a business, but I want to learn from him. So I invited him for a cup of coffee, hoping that, maybe, he can show me the ropes a little bit. And I was waiting at Starbucks for 3 hours, and he never showed up. So
He never showed up. Did he know how you look?
I don't
If he know how you look, he would show up.
well,
There's probably more than coffee.
He never did. Found out later, after waiting for him for 3 hours. I called him. He said, yeah, he was out of town, and he apologized. And I'm like, great,
Was
after
he
3
was he
hours.
American?
Yes.
That's how it
But
was. That's how it is.
I don't want to talk absolutely badly or anything,
No,
because
no.
this story actually has a very happy ending. So I after he sued me out. It's, I just don't take no for the answer when I
It
have
happened
my
for a reason, obviously.
especially when I have my mind on something, right? And I had my mindset of this person. I'm like, I'm going to meet with him, and he is going to teach me what I need to know. So I tracked him literally to investors meeting, and in one of the restaurants, I found out that they have investors meeting. And I pulled my chair right next to him because I already knew how he looked like, on the Facebook. I sat right next to him, and I told him, hey, do you know who I am? He's like, I have no idea. I said, I'm the girl that waited for you for 3 hours in the Starbucks, and you decided not to show up. And now that I have you right here, do you mind we have our talk, because we have some unfinished business
Yes.
from 2 weeks ago at the Starbucks.
Yes.
He was laughing, and this is actually a story that I tell a lot of agents. I actually coach agents right now in the real estate world.
Like you have a team, or you're a part of a company still, or?
So I manage a real estate office for 3 years. Right now, I recently stepped down from managing and coaching. Well, coaching as a team leader of that particular
Yes.
office. I had 288 agents, in my office. I recently stepped down and started my own team, and right now a lot of agents were still reaching out to me, so I decided to go back into coaching the agents, in the real estate business, in the real estate world.
So you showed actually a lot of help to a lot of others now that are still busy with trying to achieve a lot of stuff, that they probably look up to you and say, hey, that's the right person to contact and get the information from.
I like to look at myself that way. I am confident enough, to know what I offer when it comes to a real estate knowledge. I know I'm not the best, but I'm thriving to that, and I'm driving myself for that, because if you're not the best at something, you're always going to be the first loser. And that's something that I definitely took from years of swimming, that second is never good enough.
But also the power and the light that you had inside you while you were swimming, while you believed in yourself, having that success as a swimmer, you took that with you in your real estate career.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I will read more books. I love reading and learning and studying and asking questions, because the knowledge is the true power. And I love that. So yes, I work with a lot of agents. I I love helping other people. I think, especially in the world of real estate, when you dealing with people's largest assets and people's largest investments, you should take that into consideration and not try to mess with people's life, because if someone is putting their property into your hands hoping that you're going to help them either find the right home or sell their property, and they're going to
Yes.
capitalize investments. I mean, there's different aspects of the real estate world, but just with that being said, you want to make sure that you actually deliver the best services possible.
Yes, of course.
But going back to what I was saying about my story and
Yes.
helping agents, I tell that story very often because, I truly believe that if you really want something, you have to go out there and ask for it. Nothing falls out of the heaven. And, me going after that particular gentleman and, his name is Scott. If Scott watches it, I love
Scott,
you, man.
Don't do it ever again.
He's
Make those appointments.
he
Scott.
was a great mentor to me as well in the in the real estate world. So I do, again, forever thankful to that, because after we met that one day and I told him that I am very serious about my investing, and I just don't know what I'm doing, because no matter how many books you can read and what you can learn, unless
need
you start
experience. You need experience and
exactly,
everything,
you
yes.
need that. You need that because you don't know what can go wrong, what possibly could go wrong. I've learned so much from that man, because he did actually ended up mentoring me through my very first transaction. And moving forward,
Was he on time, or did he let you wait again?
he did make me wait.
Again?
It's funny you asked that, because we our rehab was not on time, but we had a great time working together. And I also asked him. I remember asking him for the listing. I knew that he had some properties, he had some flips, and I remember talking to one of the agents. I was brand new, just like I mentioned to you. I was just starting in this entire world of career and the real estate, and I went to him, and there was an agent that was going to those meetings with those investors for many years, and he told me like, "Oh, you don't go there. I've been going there for so long, and they never give me anything." I was like, "Okay, we'll see about that." I don't, like I said, I
Yes.
don't take no for the answer.
No,
So
that door was broken again, right?
just bust it open, And I remember sitting next to him, and I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, by the way, do you have any properties I can list for you?" And he's like, "No, I'm, for sale by owner." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a terrible idea. We all know that." So I'm like, "Why don't you, help me out and give me a shot?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, okay." And that blew my mind completely. Like, you have all those agents coming to those meetings, and none of them ever ask. So if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
No, you have. Yes, you can buy.
Exactly. And that's how I've been looking life, for a very long time. Like, ask for business, ask for whatever you want. Last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, when you were doing the interview, right? You talk about asking for millions, talking to God, right?
You don't ask for pennies, you ask for millions.
I
That's
watched
what
your
you
show
do.
too.
Did you watch it?
I did.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So, so you get out there and
Yes.
you ask for what you want, and what is the worst is going to happen? They're going to say no, and we know how that goes with me, right?
We do know. We do know.
So moving from there, Scott showed me my first flip, and then I think since then we flipped probably over 40, 50 properties. I was closing 30, 40 transactions a year as a real estate agent.
That's amazing.
And
That's
then
amazing.
an opportunity came to, for me to take over an real estate office and manage that office. I did that for 3 years. We're still flipping, investing in the real estate. I do believe, real estate is absolutely the best form of investment. It's tangible.
I can say that's definitely true. Very true.
It's tangible. It's always going to be there. The market can go up and down, however it wants.
People
but
always need a place to live.
Yeah.
Always.
That's exactly what it is.
So let me ask you this: as a very successful woman in sports and now in real estate in the United States, was there a big difference in this man world? Because there's a lot of ego going on, a lot of man in the real estate world, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of pushing. Like, how did you manage to keep yourself on that highest level of success, doing what you do best?
I think we all have an ego. or whether you are a man or a woman. And it's funny you ask that, because a lot of women especially come to me and look for kind of, I guess, the reassurance in the feminism, right? And
Feminism.
they see a lot of women look at me, they see a very successful woman, that I'm very confident in everything that I have to offer.
Probably also very intimidating for a lot of people, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you act.
I always ask that question: am I intimidating, or are you intimidated?
That's a good one. I like that. That's a good one. I like that. I'm
Right?
not intimidated. I'm not intimidated.
I'm not saying you in particular, but that's
Yes,
how
yes,
many
yes,
people,
of course.
and I know that,
Yes.
and I know that, and that's not my problem, and that's not my fault how you feel around me. If me being powerful scares you, then that's on you. I'm not going to lower my values, and I'm not going to lower my self-esteem or anything just to be on your level.
Yes.
It's not my job to be relatable to everybody.
True.
And answering your question about I don't believe in feminism. I mean, like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't. I don't think women and men are the same in any aspect. And here's when let me clarify that, because this is where a lot of confusion comes in, right? I do believe we're equal. I think all humans on the entire planet are equal. Like, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, black,
We're all here
white,
together.
yellow.
We're all
like,
here together in the same mix.
Exactly.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we're the same. And I think and I think the world will be a much better place if everyone knew their place in this world. If I'm doing a certain job, right, and I can perform a certain activity, like for example, real estate, I don't believe that I should get paid less than you.
True. Very true.
Anyway, because we're doing the same exactly job.
Very true.
But if you are a man and I'm a woman, and naturally you're stronger than me, obviously there are going to be expectations. So I don't want anyone to hold me to every single word I'm saying, because there are women that are stronger than certain men.
Of course.
I'm comparing apples to
Caitlyn Jenner
apples.
at the moment, strong woman. I mean, right?
Yes, like for example. But you look at people like there are smaller men, and then there are bigger women,
yes.
and I don't belong to the smallest ones. I'm 6 feet tall. I could probably, not that I would ever want to fight a man.
But
anyway, but
I know
like
a little
if
bit
I had
about
to,
your jiu-jitsu past, and I'm staying right here. I'm not getting any closer. It's like this.
Yes. So with all that being said, I do believe in equality. I don't believe we're the same.
And you're also, like I said, I know a little bit. You're very respected as well by a lot of men in the real estate world, and a lot of females. They see you as equal. There's nobody that tells you what.
I will never allow anyone to tell me what to do. And I think that's also a big key to how you present yourself to the world. That's how you're going to. If you respect yourself, everybody around you is going to be respecting to you and is going to respect you, because you will not accept anything less. And if you don't have that confidence, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't respect yourself, if you don't love yourself 100%,
Yes, you're totally right in that.
you're going to allow people to walk all over you, and that should never be the case.
It's always believing in yourself and seeing the strength that is inside of you to use that to become successful in any way that you want in life. It doesn't depend, like we said, where we come from. It's how you build yourself up and how you make life work for you, instead of just grabbing the stuff that's already out there. And you obviously made it very good work for you in many, many ways.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like working, and like I said, I love challenges. I think life is full of them, and you gotta look at every single one of them as an opportunity, and just go for it.
Right.
Go for everything you ever wanted. Be successful. And I think if you tell, and again, going back to the beginning of our interview, when someone tells you so many times certain thing, then you're gonna eventually believe it.
Yes.
Why not be that person that tells yourself, constantly, like, I'm gonna tell myself, like, listen, I'm gonna be the most successful woman on this planet. I want that, and and I'm gonna be proud and I'm gonna be happy, and not that I'm not now. Like I'm super happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm very content and I'm very happy with where I am right now.
You can see that. Yeah.
But I think I don't accept just where I am right now. I'm always, I
You
won't
have
know
to
it.
have
And
keep on that drive.
Absolutely.
There's no way of stopping.
yes,
You have to keep on going, especially when you're good at something. See that value in yourself when you're good at something, and just always just keep on going.
Yeah.
Just keep on going and don't ever stop. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So what is it that you what are the people that you actually coach? What do you expect from you? Because I know you help a lot of people. You talk to them, you educate them. What they really expect from you? Because I know they all look up to you. Not even because you're 6 foot, but they also just look
I
up to
always
you.
say, right? I'll see you at the top, or I see you from the top. And
And actually, what I also really want to know, like, what is next? What is next for Monica Kowalski, who came from Poland and now runs a beautiful business in real estate? What is next for you?
uh, I'm very tempted to just steal your answer from 2 weeks ago, because
Steal it. Steal it.
the truth is that I really don't know. The future is, we don't know. I know I'm hopefully gonna wake up tomorrow, and just strive for more and build myself, more, and build my own empire day after day, and
Keep on manifesting.
yes,
Keep on going.
yes, absolutely.
What is it would you like to share with the audience today about what they should do, or what they should believe in to become, a very successful woman or man in any type of business? Like, what would you show them today?
You got to know your value. You got to know your worth. You got to respect yourself, and you got to believe in yourself. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by a lot of people that believed in me, but I know that doesn't happen to everyone. And if some of you guys weren't lucky enough to be brought in this type of environment, and you grew up more on your own, you gotta either find someone who's going to believe in you unconditionally and love you
Yes.
unconditionally, or do it to yourself.
Very
And
true.
I
love that.
I,
love
I
that.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think when you do that, when you finally learn how to believe in yourself and love yourself, you're going to be unstoppable.
That's very, very powerful and very, very strong. And I want to thank you for today, Monica, to come with us and inspire a lot of people and talk about your beautiful journey. That again, you came from a small communistic, not small, but smaller communistic country, Poland, to the United States to inspire us all and to show us what business and what it's really about. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. What I like to say today is if you really know your true value in life, you stop giving people discounts. There's nobody who can tell you what you are, what you have to do, and what you don't have to do. As long as you believe in yourself, keep on going. But also, sometimes reach a little bit out. You need a little bit of faith, sometimes a little bit of God, sometimes a little bit of water. But most of all, really, really trust in yourself that you are safe in this beautiful, beautiful world of business, people, and love. So thank you very much for having me. I was your host, Marcus Walters. Hopefully, Dr. Michael Hunter is back next week. He's went to the Netherlands. He's probably eating French fries right now with a little bit of mayonnaise, walking to Amsterdam, sitting in the canal tours. But he will be next week. And thank you for having me.